So, before we get today's video rolling, two very quick announcements. Firstly, as I discovered when I began editing this video, I had a rocking cold, maybe a month ago, and I was sort of quarantined away from Mrs. and Baby Owl, which is when I recorded a few things. I was a little loopy and a lot congested, by which I mean that parts of what's coming had to be excised and others are just a bit stuffed up and crappy sounding. So before you ask, that's why it's like that. Fortunately, this was the only one that got a bit spoiled. I debated re-recording it, but right now time is at such a premium, and thus I decided against it. Don't worry, just consider this a bonus video. Secondly, next month we'll be doing that long-awaited fan theory video, or quite possibly video series, about Made in Abyss. If you are interested in supplying a theory of your own, head on over to the Discord and get your ideas in. With that out of the way, let's see if this video was salvageable. Hello all, this is the Owl, and hell yeah, let's finish this thing. Before we get going, a big thanks to those of you that have asked after Baby Owl. She's totally fine and healthy, pooping like a buffalo. Which yes, is why videos are a little slower coming out. Mrs. Owl is quite busy with her studies, so I've been helping out where I can. And when Baby Owl flashes that gorgeous gummy smile at me, how can I not spend time with her? Anyways, Gyo. The responses to the videos I made on it have been so fascinating. People saying that I need to stop picking on Junji Ito, people saying that I'm a Junji Ito fanboy, people who love the fish-pocalypse, or I guess fart-pocalypse might be more apropos, and people who have a visceral hatred for this manga. Honestly though, I do not mind. I would much rather make something polarizing than something bland or boring. And this manga, I don't think it's even on the same planet as boring. But first up, let's do a quick recap. Last time, Tadashi and Kaori experienced a bizarre phenomenon while holidaying in Okinawa, as sea life rose from the oceans on strange mechanical spider legs. Kaori is a germaphobe with an extremely sensitive nose, so she had a pretty bad time. Soon though, they came to realize that the walking fish are actually basically zombies. Sort of. Perhaps batteries would be more correct. And things go from bad to worse, as Kaori appears to be getting ill. Eventually, we learn from Tadashi's mad scientist uncle that what's happening is a result of secret bioweapons research. During World War II, a bacterium was developed that caused living creatures to swell up and produce enormous amounts of, well, farts and then die. But the experiment continued in an attempt to weaponize this. And yes, this entire concept is way more funny than scary. Kaori realizes that she's been infected with this fart germ, and she tops herself. Tadashi's uncle promises to get her medical attention and sends Tadashi out to check on his parents. But by now, Tokyo is being totally overrun by reeking undead sea life. And as we now know, I really wish I could think of a good name for a fart-based bioweapon. How about, the stand somewhere else? Nope, got nothing. Anyways, let's see what happens next. And yeah, Volume 2 is where the story goes from huh to what? Let's get this done. As Volume 2 starts, we see that the phenomenon is spreading inland from the coast, and yup, the fishpocalypse is officially underway. Tadashi's still in the culvert where we left him, but sees that the gas is... Nope, your guess is as good as mine. And yes, take note of this because this is really happening, and it'll go on to be kind of an important plot point later. At present, or at least when I read this, I thought it was him hallucinating, because we are literally dealing with haunted farts, and that may be the strangest thing I have said in quite a long time. The gas is made up of the spirits of the dead. What? But as it turns out here, and while it might seem like he was just dreaming, spoiler, this is what is actually happening. Regardless, he wakes up in a hospital bed and learns from a nurse that the seas are basically empty now, and that all the fish are on land, and everyone's just kind of gotten used to them, okay? And the contagious fart bacterium is spreading rapidly now and is about to become a real problem. Outside we... Okay, Ito, you get a pass for this panel alone. That is beautiful. Anyways, he returns to his uncle's lab, but he's informed that Kaori is dead from the disease, and I'm guessing her suicide attempt. But when he asks to see the body, the uncle suddenly becomes cagey. Mate, I would drill down on this one a bit. However, the uncle's beautiful assistant Yoshiyama sneaks him to see, yeah, this was pretty much spoiled by the cover. The uncle has gone completely off nut and has turned her into, what do I even do with that? Spider Fart-stermind? Oh, and yeah, there are rather a lot of images with pipes coming out of people's ring meat. And as I don't know how YouTube would respond to this, I'm just going to be careful and censor it all. But here's the thing. This walking machine is clearly man-made, constructed by the uncle for whatever reason. But what about the other walking machines? The ones the fish have? Where the sodding hell did those come from? Yes, this is answered kind of right at the end of the manga, actually. But trust me, that explanation might actually be worse than nothing. You'll see what I mean. Anyways, the uncle comes in and tries to explain that he's attempted to replicate and improve on the fart-powered walking machines, and we finally get an explanation of the fart ghosts. Sort of. Apparently the germs melt tissues and turns them into gas, which somehow translates into putting your consciousness into the gas. Nope, you've totally lost me, Ito. When I eat a steak and then crack a crusty, I'm pretty sure that my fart does not want to eat grass. Anyways, Spider Kaori stabs the uncle and buggers off. Yes, I'm going to hell for that one. And he rushes out after her, finding himself in an apocalyptic, gas-filled Tokyo. And yep, this is where the story becomes legitimately surreal. We see there are more walking machines and infected people in the smoggy Tokyo wasteland, all running around in a fairly ordered fashion, as if they were pedestrians and cars and... Yes, by the way, that is Baby Owl in the background if you can hear her. Regardless, I'm sure Junji Ito is sitting there going, ask me what it means. But I have no idea, and I'm not even going to hazard a guess. We get a variety of little vignettes. A terrified, infected man, and a soldier who has gone completely bonkers. And this. I think we found the boss fight, chaps. And once again, we get confirmation that the gas is indeed sentient and is able to pull people around. What? Sure enough, it chases Tadashi, but he is able to escape to the next bit of insanity. You know what, chaps? My brain is starting to squeak, so let's take a short break.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
And we're back. As he wanders the reeking wasteland that was once Tokyo, Tadashi hears strange but jolly music coming from somewhere and heads off to investigate. Sure enough, he finds a... What? Yeah, Ito, what are we doing here? It's a circus tent. And here we go. We are about to hit peak Ito. Inside the big top, Tadashi finds a bunch of walking machines, both human and animal-based, performing tricks and acrobatics, as well as a full-on fart orchestra, all overseen by this creepy-looking ringmaster bastard who goes on about the gas being alive, etc. Once again, I have no idea what this symbolism here is supposed to mean. Regardless, this section goes on for a while, and yes, we do get some cool and pretty creepy art. But A, this entire sequence seems completely pointless, and B, I have no idea what's going on. Mr. Ito, have you been at the Bron again? He says, making a joke that nobody outside of Japan will get. I guess the entire purpose of this bit is to show us where Kaori is. She breaks free and Tadashi gives chase again. He eventually catches up and, after a struggle, manages to turn the machine off and then drags her back to his uncle's lab, where he's greeted by Yoshiyama. She apologizes profusely for helping his uncle with Kaori, and also tells him that his uncle died from the stab. Guiltily, she agrees to help him free Kaori, but when she attempts to remove the pipes, oh, that's foul! Kaori's putrid flesh starts to peel away with it. I think I just threw up in my own stomach. Damn it, Ito, that is glyceride levels of nasty. Anyways, as we close in on the climax, they prepare to just tear her off and cremate her, but they hear a strange metallic pounding coming from the uncle's lab. And I promise you, you will never guess what's about to arrive. Tadashi decides to investigate the sound because Tadashi has a death wish, and entering the darkened lab, it doesn't take him long to find, okay, go home, manga, you're drunk. It's the final boss, his uncle in a full-on fart zeppelin. Anyways, they flee. Oh right, they're in love now, and the reason the uncle is attacking him is because he's jealous. No, I didn't skip anything. That's how sudden that was. And the fact that they're in love makes Kaori cry and attack Yoshiyama chasing her out, where the uncle captures her and flies away with her. Once again, there is almost certainly some symbolism here that I'm not getting, and no, Ito, I am not going to ask you what it means. Still, crazy enough for you? Nope. Okay, how about this? All the other walking machines attack Kaori for some bloody reason, and as Tadashi watches helplessly, rip her rotting corpse limb from limb. Anyways, after more pointless nonsense, the fart zeppelin becomes a fart glider, then flies off with Yoshiyama, and no, we never see either of them again, rendering that entire plotline completely pointless. Tadashi continues walking after them, and we get some, yeah, okay, I'll admit, pretty damn badass apocalyptic imagery. How the hell did we go from walking fish to this? And after some other random scientists show up and kind of explain the plot to us, we do get our final question answered. The original walking machines were somehow created by the sentient bacteria from shipwrecks. Nope, I'm about done now. That burning smell is my hair catching on fire. We close the story out with Tadashi finding Kaori's remains, the machine has been broken, and her corpse dismembered and burnt. Realizing that she's finally freed from her suffering, Tadashi sits down next to her as the scene pulls back, out, and away. So, that was Gyo. And if that's not the craziest thing you've ever read, then you've clearly read Dorohedoro. I must say, while I do talk smack, I actually found Gyo to be a really entertaining read, although it does often smack of, I literally made this up as I went along, or perhaps more apropos, I pulled this directly out of my ass. Haha. Anyway, another plus, once again, is that you get some free manga with Gyo, including the incomparable Enigma of Amigara Falls, which is probably the best thing Ito's ever written, and frankly justifies the price of admission by itself. I've talked about this story before, and yeah, it's really, really bloody good. Anyway, before we finish for the day, I want to give a huge thanks, as always, to my fantastic patrons: Asterix Gaming, Piece of Yeast, Elspresso, Cheerful Satanist, Starwin Marwin, High Lord J, Jacob Ramsey, Crazy, James Bakes Bread, Wargle, Kel Core, Lance Goebel, Paul Norberger, Rafferty, Aaron Arnold, The Hedgehog Gamer, Simone, and XTC Pill. If you want to see more like this, why not stick around? Subscribe, bell, you know the drill. If you want to hear me say your name, get early access to most of my videos, have some fun perks on the Discord, and, you know, help us feed and clothe Baby Owl, why not take a look at our Patreon? All links are in the description. Take care, my friends, and cheers. I am going to go and drink a big honey lemon and get back into bed. This is the Owl, signing off.